hours since we talked last. The wind has picked up, and by the way, some of you guys said get here in here. Got mine a little, just tiny, about a quarter inch. We gotta find some smaller ones. But I'm super excited about this. We got our first load. It's all thanks to you guys. So special. I can't thank you guys enough. Man, I hope the audio is good. But no matter whether you can hear me or not, when you see what happens next, you'll know what I'm thinking. I am so excited. Ray and I have wanted this for so long. We have our first load of rock. So excited. He's only dropping off one today. It's Saturday today. You guys are seeing this. And then Monday, he's bringing as much as he can haul. So Monday, we might be able to do this whole thing. Mama! Oh, Snagger. Easy, Snagger, easy. Baby, Rosie does not like it. Come on, Rosie. He don't want some. Yeah. Oh, bring out the rear. Guess who? He will. Alright, let me guess. I gotta give you room. Some of you guys are concerned that leaving this in the water would cause that water like backfill, but it can't. It's a ball valve. It's not just an empty line. What this guy's doing here? Well, hey, bro. Oh, here you go. He's on too close. Pretty sure we're gonna go ahead and probably expand this alpaca if we need to. Might as well. I've got the material. So we're gonna go ahead and expand it. So I haven't moved that metal yet. We're also gonna build something for donkey. Smokey has a extra large igloo. She'll have a place to get out of the elements this winter. I'm talking about this winter. I'm not worried about it right now. We still got the whole month of August before we gotta worry about anything getting cold. Even our smoke is cold. Sleepy. Alright. Our driveway has some pretty significant rusted from where people have been driving. And there's actually some base rust in it. I'll see if I can show you guys here in a second for the comfort of my truck. Because it's 95 degrees. We're waiting on a dumpster driver. But this is what I'm talking about. We're going to put 3-inch down first. And then we're going to put this action rock and the base rock and on top of that. So it's kind of big. Let me get it. Don't work too hard. Don't make it weird. God bless. millimeter? No, that's too big. They're smaller than that. There's a self-tapping screw with a little rubber grommet on it, and that's what we need. Just move that far. But the reason we're going to do it is there's a beautiful field right here. It's very clean, no rocks, no brush, nothing like that. And we want to get them up there so that they can hang out a little bit here, a little safer. Well, that's up to now. Like my college checking, check on the cows. I know you guys are curious after last night. Sorry for the darkness and the camera angle last night. But it's just how it goes when you're coming at midnight. Till the 20 acres and all you get a little political. You either get the wind or you get the darkness. Choose one, okay? I cannot wait. Great place right here. Great place. What's up, Fredo? Get that brand, brother. Drag it up. Okay. He was the one who got out last night. I think got in. Okay, hey, listen, I got a question though. Who flipped my lawnmower? Huh? Who got mad at the lawnmower? Said this is in the way of my suntan time. Just flipped my lawnmower. Who done it? Fred? I got a feeling. And I tell you what, I switched to that other computer. Kind of. Go Fred over there. Trying to make it move. We figured everything out about a month ago. About the time we got him down here, Fred figured out he's a boy. And I ended up keep talking dumb and find out, guy. Who to make it? So if you're a year and a half old, it's okay. Okay, but it's not okay, you know what I'm saying? So look at Highland Island. Maybe that's where you need to bring it, Fred. Take it to a private island. I'm really worried about the water going down too much. Here we go. Yeah. How shallow that is. We are thinking we're going to do a bridge. We got some telephone poles we can span across there and put some deck boards across it. I think it'd be really cool. We'll probably put the telephone poles somewhere in there. We'll have to wait till we get an excavator, have a plan. You know me, my plan was to make a hole, and I did. And my plan was to figure out what my next plan was. That's how I roll. Click. It will clear up too. Somebody was asking about some muddiness. It will clear up. It's just the nature of it. Start making adjustments like this. And when you have big old boys like this in it, this happens. What do you say, Fredo? Hey, buddy. Never too early for a swim, huh? Yeah, the pond will clear up. Somebody mentioned that I ruined it. You know, the water's too low. This, that, the other. You supposed to there? That's actually not the most I've ever seen them out of the water. That used to hold a pump underground or underwater, and they would pump water to things back there. Somebody asked if I was going to remove them, and I probably won't, because that's my gauge as to the water level. Well, I've seen those completely submerged. I'm sorry, I've never actually seen those completely submerged. That's probably 8 inches sticking out of the ground. But that's how we gauge pond level. And I'm seeing it shallower than that. We still got a pretty high water table. So, not too worried. But let me take care of some stuff before Tom Shannon takes water. You guys see that? Thanks. Look at that water. Right here. Still coming up. little bit today. Further up to this. Bottles right there. You guys hang out, Colin down over here after this. And there we go. I'm gonna pull him. We're gonna know. Good. We've not walked it up on YouTube. We've watched this. Oh, we don't. Well, it's they don't know that it's not hot. But last night, Stephanie got in there. And I had to come out here at 1 o'clock till midnight to get Stephanie out of there. She would just head down and eat and went underneath it. And then, of course, once they get under it, they know, well, that's hot. I shouldn't have done that. Right. So, Stephanie was losing her marbles. Got to come out here at midnight instead of 3. Really thinking that he's a man. Like this last 3 or 4 weeks, he's actually floating in the pool. But he loves that pond. He loves the pond, but anyway. Well, I'm making a hole. Well, I thought there was dirt in there, and there is, but the honeysuckle is pretty thick now. Yeah, well, all I did was just drive straight in, raise my bucket, grab a bunch of it, back up. But there's dirt all over the property. And it's all inside there. You can even actually go around the back side of that, and it's not as much. You can grab it back, or you can just, I just want this level. I don't care how you do it. Well, both if you got time and patience. But I got news for you. It's got air conditioning, but there's no front windshield. Yeah, sure, let's call it cold. You gotta have I don't know what the wind sounds like. Now, you're either getting pitch black last night or you get the wind this morning. It was probably just a weak windy day. Yeah, anyway, yeah. I mean, take those stumps out. You can do whatever you want. Yeah, I think it's 55. But it's not. It's not even. I can see it now. Absolutely. So I think you gotta be careful of it. The septic tank, see it just beyond that stuff. Top of it. The leach field is that way. Okay. The leach field is that way. We don't want to put that there. There's nothing missing. You can have to put it in. That's how it's right. I'm like, that's what we gotta do is we want to the food is over. I want my dry. And I was like, oh, sorry, let's put a few in it. Like, no, I'll put a few in it first. You don't want to go on top of the sewer line. Yeah. It doesn't sound like a farm line. So I don't want, a point. See, that's actually part of the old. I don't care. I was interested in there, right angle. All the white. I mean, how wide, not nothing. Coming right up front. Well, that's what I'm telling you. You know, the excavator, when you move it around, it's more delicate. You can stop. Just sticking stuff up and move. That thing, you just get the base is not near as wide an excavator, but it's not more. So it's like sitting on top of our truck. So, yeah, that's what I told him. I thought we did it mom and dad. I'm like, that's what I want. And then, did we have did they do that for you out here? Well, he said you just got did talk to Red. He's a money man. I tell you what, there's a big fishing line around it. Get that off of there. I'll give you that. I think all you do is put this. Anyway. he can't take that skid steer, but he don't know it. Yeah, try it. That's all. Yeah, I don't even think no. That long hot. You gotta go home. Can't get the heck out of here. Yeah. So, well, I didn't want him adopting cats. Yeah. And I can be part of getting out. Just a minute. Oh, where you going? Let them all in my beard. Well, right. It has to be an equal right. What will happen if I don't do anything? Volunteer that. I like a volunteer grant. That's my nominee. I will tell you, yeah, it is a whole lot. Well, I don't think I'm part of one. Amazing. As you're doing it, you kind of feel it looks like it's starting. Yeah. Well, before, it was all filtered, and it was just like red and rocky and just nasty stuff. It was old. And when you bury this stuff, like when you bury these metal sheds, you have places where like it starts to shift on you and rock. And, but did you make all that dirt? Like I tell you, we have these dirt piles, and he literally used this apple one. Yeah, that's always everybody uses a little bit of dirt. Great. Yeah. For all of the property. There's probably, I kid you not, probably 15 or 20 of those. Anywhere you see that's higher than everywhere else, piling is good. I know. They just drink topsoil and make those rocks. There's probably, I don't know how much money was. Let's say it's 660 by 660. What's 2 feet of topsoil worth? Because that's what I got up front. Pretty close to it. Look at that. That is amazing. And it still contours right towards the pond. We didn't like add anything. Didn't really take away anything. We got a couple of stumps. Give me your best stump removal pieces down below. We gave her a little college dry, but tree was just out. There's a tree right here. Oh, you're not finding me. So, get that out of there. Drill holes, pour oil in it. I had to cover up the plan on the septic tank. I had to cover that back up. We know where it's at now. Not too worried about it. We'll get that taken care of pretty quick. Gotta get it pumped out too. When we started with the fire, of course we did. Oh, let me go show you. You know, I can't think anything not to. Yeah. My hair. My hair. That's not ground level. Ground level is like probably 3 feet below that. That's how much we brought it up. We did put that much dirt in it. So you're going to stand a chance. Some of those they were. Yeah, that's it. I'm calling the video here. If you want to see more of the four, check out content and Dana out. Can't thank him enough. Love him to death. I'm saying about collaboration and all that stuff. I can't. I'll tell Ken all day. I would physically be in pain if I didn't. I'm not that. And I've got. I got like 42 days until I'm even clear. Exactly. Anyway, that. Well, we good. Don't work too hard. Don't make it weird.
Testing. Hello, hello. Echo cancellation on now. Is that any better? Okay, there we go. Now we have audio. Turn this one down now so that doesn't annoy me. I don't know. It was on default speed microphone, but it didn't show no mic audio coming on through. I clicked at the speakerphone, and now it works fine. I can't believe you can't hear him. Anyway, I have no idea what I'm doing cooking this stuff. I never have claimed to be an expert at making biscuits and gravy. I'm sure it'll be good. I've made it before, but as you can see, I don't really have the room to work with the Dutch oven and the frying pan in there at the same time. Glad it was rectified. And I don't know what that was bleeding on through. I have no idea if that was a camper down below. Um, I just don't know what it was. Or if it was a CB radio. It didn't sound like CB radio jargon to me. I don't think it was a CB radio. I think it was just something bleeding through on my phone itself. I ain't steaming the gravy. Ain't nothing steamed here. Good check. Biscuit. Fire hot. Can you imagine that? Oh yeah, they're done. They are done. I hope I didn't crispy the bottom side. I might have crispied them. I'd let them go a little bit too long. Finish making that gravy here in a little bit. Yeah, a little too long, but I think they'll still be edible. A little bit on the tough side. Let's see here. Yeah, I just put one big old chunk in here, then I sliced it 4 ways and put a cross in it. Uh-oh, uh-oh. This ain't good, boys. It's sticking on the bottom. It was too hot for me to grab. Come on. Okay. Well, show you. Ooh, it's hot. I'll tell you, that turned out. It'll be all right. A little bit a little bit crispified on the bottom side, crispified. The dough was all done, so I'll cover up the burnt taste with gravy. Oops, cord. Okay, gravy and before I do, so I make that gravy, I gotta run in and grab my plate. And I grabbed some more milk just in case the gravy needs more milk than what I got here. And hell, I might need the milk to wash down my own cooking. Just brought out a fork. Kind of mash this gravy around with, but I'll make do with a spoon. Where can I put this where it's not going to get roasted? Probably not supposed to put it all in like that at once, but I don't care. Got quite a bit of ash in the gravy, but that's not going to hurt nothing. I'm more worried about the way my biscuits turned out now. I'm going to have to work on my biscuit making skills. I can see that right now. It's been a long time since I made biscuits. I've made them in the frying pan before. Cover one up on top of the fire, kind of like a Dutch oven, but that was a long time ago. Let's see, it's still blowing ash around. We'll set it down here. Yeah, ain't burnt too bad, but I'll say that to you separately. I might as well at least get this ready. There we go. That part's ready for some biscuits. I might have put too much milk in the gravy, but it will cook down. I know one thing that I made a mistake on, and I'm going to remember this in the future. Trying to put two different things in the frying pan, in this small area at the same time just does not work out. Having the coffee pot in there, the frying pan, well, that was kind of iffy. But trying to put the frying pan and the Dutch oven, trying to work anything, on in there, that was just it didn't leave me room. And plus, the Dutch oven has the little legs point down below, so they catch in the grate when I would try to turn it. And yeah, I mean, y'all see what happened there. So anyway, yeah, just in the future, it's just going to be one thing at a time that I'm cooking on here. Let's turn the oven down. If this is gravy thickens on up, I think it's going to be real good. Okay, you guys, this is not the direction I want my chat to be going on in. You can carry that one on, that type of chat on my other channel, but that's kind of toned a little bit down on this channel. And I know I'm a bad example. I'm not passing judgment. I'm just saying. Double little. I better start watching it really close now. It's If this gravy turns out tasting good, the secret to it will be the ash. The biscuits, I do believe, was going to have to be a retry. Oh, Dave's backyard chicken. Chickens are over there saying, "Let me out of this soup." Yeah, gravy's sticking up pretty nicely. Normally, I like it about the consistency that it is right now. So with a little spoon like this here, it makes it hard to dish up. So I want to let it thicken up a little bit more so it'll be easier to dish up with a spoon. I'm too lazy to run in the house and get a ladle. Now, oh shoot, there's one ingredient that I forgot. I ain't going to mess with it now. I forgot the egg. Dang it, I woke up out of bed. I was trying to sleep when I started getting this ready to go, and that's the one thing I forgot. I did put hot dogs in here for me. Oh, I can't believe I forgot the egg. Well, that's going to have to be next time. Stupid me. I get in my jam jar and go to my favorite pub for a pint. Yeah, no egg. Right, Garrett. No egg. Man, a chicken farmer with no eggs. Give me a break. Yeah, when my mom would make this kind of a gravy, she always hard boiled her eggs. I found that I prefer scrambling my eggs in my white gravy in the country type of gravy, stuff. I like to scramble the eggs at first. I want to take that off the fire for a minute, finish my cigarette, then I want to dish myself up. I think it's thick enough. Yeah, you've done that. Have you ever done that, Garrett? You scrambled eggs into your white gravy? I mean, it's a lot less work than hard boiling your eggs first, and then you gotta peel them, then you gotta cut them. Just dump the eggs in there, scramble them up, make your gravy, dump your gravy. And another thing that I've done, because I'm using turkey hot dogs in my gravy, is what I'm using on in here. And one thing I miss with the country gravies that I've had in the past, where they put sausage in there. I love breakfast sausage. I don't eat pig, but I do love that flavors, especially the seasonings that they use in making the breakfast sausage, the sage and the thyme and stuff like that. So I did put some sage and some thyme in the gravy itself. I mean, there's no sausage in here, and I did cut up some hot dogs and I got that on in here. But dang, I'll be damned if I forgot the egg. No, I don't. I don't typically do a panel chat anymore, Steve. Yeah, gotta have those seasonings. Okay, well, let's go ahead and dish up this gravy on the. Yeah, these biscuits weren't completely burnt, so I can't call them crispy biscuits. Sorry, Christy, I can't name these biscuits after you. I didn't burn them that bad. Lots of gravy. Lots of gravy. And let's see here. Another put over here. Put this on top of it. Use that for a lid on there. And I know me. I love lots of salt and pepper. Well, I keep on swearing I'm going to take these salt shakers and get a quarter-inch drill bit. Make these holes a lot bigger. I think a quarter-inch drill bit would be just perfect for a salt shaker bit holes. And there we have it. There's the biscuits and gravy. Well, it don't look too bad. Yeah, electric cars are good deals for the rich folk who don't want the electric cars for the most part, unless they can get a hot rod one or something or a limo. Actually, it's pretty good. The crust is a little bit on the tough side, but it's actually pretty good. If you're brave enough there, dog, come on over. I'll share. Christy, I almost named these Christy biscuits, Campfire biscuits. Christy's got a hot date today. In Junkyard, it's what we call mulatto biscuits and gravy. I must say the gravy is good, even without the egg. I'm really happy with the gravy. No, just hot dogs there. Yeah, Steve. And they ain't steam cooked hot dogs. But I tell you what, I could probably soften up this bread here if I steam heated it. Not boiled wieners either. They were fried in butter. Yeah, that shouldn't hurt you any, Steve. It looks like you could, if you afford to throw up a few more times, you should do that more often. That's bad, Garrett. That's bad. This gravy really did turn out good. I think that the ash was a secret recipe to my gravy. That was for spamming, Steve. No spamming chat. Whatever it does, it made it taste good there, Garrett. I better put you live chat. Good morning, Jerry. I didn't see you come in there. I haven't heard anything since Kathy came into the live chat Friday morning, was it, or Thursday night? I think it was Friday morning. Morning, Lori. Well, Tim, I don't know if they have chicken wings up in Canada, but I know Canada has a whole lot of chickens. Yeah, it's with their front legs or back legs. I don't even think KFC actually uses chickens. It's better have a fire to keep it warm. Get this loose. Oh, we got to re-season it now. Yeah, this here, the bottom side of the bread kind of got crispified. Back at the top is a little bit on the brown side too for biscuits, but the bottom side a little crispified. Actually, you know what? I think I want to get this ready for next time. The way I'm going to do it. That heat up for a bit. Dump out the ash. And put some oil in there. Yeah, that's right, Jerry. The chickens will eat it. You didn't burn your bagel this morning? That's awesome, Christy. Yeah, my gravy turned out really good. My biscuits, not so good. I mean, they're edible, but they'll definitely get broke up and fed to the chickens. I can't wait till like October or November when it starts getting cold on out. I want to try making the biscuits again. I might decide biscuits and gravy again a little bit later, but I want to get into making biscuits and chili. I'll have to make my biscuits in the frying pan for that, and my chili in the Dutch oven, of course. No, 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 no. I do wash my cast iron junkyard. I don't wash my cast iron. Yeah, you're right. The biscuits didn't raise. Oh, that's right. Doug isn't. Doug won't be live this evening, will he? Nobody's heard anything from Doug. Well, I don't think I'll be doing any cooking this evening on the fire. It's supposed to be a hot one here for the next 3 or 4 days. So it's going to get really hot. I'm not going to be feeling too much like messing with the fire this evening. I still might go live out here, but I doubt if I'll do a fire. So maybe what I'll do is I'll get the stuff to make my ice cream today and put the stuff together for making ice cream on a live stream. That would be good. That just might be what I do. Last thing that I heard, Garrett, about Dog was that he was going in for surgery at 3:30 on Friday afternoon, and I haven't heard anything else. And the surgery that he was having, the way I understood it was for kidney stones. But I haven't heard anything since. And he has been in our prayers. And until I hear otherwise, I want to think positive that there ain't nothing wrong. I mean, that we know he's had kidney stones, and they go in there. I guess they do something to vibrations or something to break them on up. Uh, we know he went through this before a couple years ago, and I'm just thinking he's going to pull through it the same way this time. So I'm going to think positive until Kathy tells us otherwise. Yep, he'll be fine. Yeah, not enough beer. Well, we knew no. It's one of two things that's going to happen. Either he's going to get better, or he's going to get worse. And there's not a damn thing that you and I can do about it. So that's why I choose to think on the positive side, because I know I'm not done tormenting that boy. I'm looking forward to when he gets back in his live stream and I can start tormenting him and telling him, "See, I told you so. If you didn't stop eating those steamed weenies, this is exactly what it will do to you." I, if that's true, there, Dave, I sure want to. I don't, to tell you quite frankly, I don't drink coffee for health. I don't think coffee has any positive benefits for most people. I think it's another drug. Um, it does cause a lot of health problems with people. Subtle health problems, not major health problems in most people, but it does cause a lot of subtle health problems. Well, he was getting infections, Tim. He was getting infections, and when you get, like, say, infections in your kidneys, it can spread to other parts of your body. Yeah, study the effect on what caffeine does there, Garrett. And you can Google it on the internet. Start looking at side effects of caffeine and the effects that long term use of caffeine, what it can do, and different stuff. You can look into it, and you can find a lot of stuff that seriously. I mean, I'd like to quit drinking coffee one of these days. I'm not. I don't think it's uh, something horrible bad, but I would like to get to the point where I'm not needing coffee. Yeah, well, that's at the point where it noticeably steps up more. It doesn't mean that it's not doing its damage with only one cup or less a day. You know, it's I'm not trying to portray that coffee um is the problem. There's so many things in our diet that we eat day to day that we have so much more problems with the heart disease, lung disease, all sorts of diseases on out there. Um, Viruses that are there, and all of it is attributed to diet. And the diet of the people today is a lot more a a lot more gluttony. Well, I don't need a cup of coffee today, but hey, I just want a cup of coffee today. And if you're doing stuff because you want, that's what I'm calling gluttony. It's not extreme gluttony, but it's and back in the day, sugar, it was hard to come by. People didn't use sugar like they do today. Same with salt. A lot of the stuff that people are using, it was used in moderation, and now we don't know what moderation is. But they had to use it in moderation because it wasn't readily available like it is now. And ever since we haven't had to use things in moderation, um, such as coffee is one of those things. Most of the times, in like back in the Wild West days and even early American history, it wasn't always coffee that they were drinking. I mean, it was, roasted dandelion, roasted whatever. They had their own version for what they made for their hot drinks. They called coffee in the morning, so it wasn't, you know, um, they weren't drinking real coffee. Yep, the phrase "eat to live, not live to eat." Well, vegetable oils are horrible. Vegetable oils are and with the Crisco's and stuff, that stuff was horrible. Now, a lot of people say, well, they use all lard and stuff like that. Well, that's not necessarily true either. The countries that where people were living to be 100 years old, they weren't using the lard. They were using the olive oils and the specialty oils. to cook. You know, the Italians and stuff, they were using the other type of oils, and it was good for you. I mean, the type of oils they did, and the way that they used it, it did help eliminate cholesterol rather than building up cholesterol. And the lard does build up cholesterol. Bacon grease does taste good. I have to admit, I don't eat it anymore, but man, I tell you what, I remember when I went down south tree planting years ago. I was planting trees with a bunch of Navajo Indians, and they showed me how to make Navajo bread. One of these days I'll have to make it, but it's not the same now that I don't use lard in it. But you put the lard in your pan, and melt it on down, and you have like a half inch, 3/4 inch, and you make that Navajo bread, roll it on out, and then deep fry it and eat it hot out of the pan. Oh man, that stuff is so good. And I have to admit, the lard was the key secret to that type of bread. I've done it with butter, and it still tastes good, but it's not nearly as good. And by the way, I did just many of you know, many of you say that the um, clean and unclean animals that was for the Jews. I want to point out something here. Several hundred years before the first Jew, before Abraham, going back to when Noah built the ark. You all recall the story there? This is several hundred years before the first Jew. And when God brought the animal onto the ark, it says he brought the unclean 2 by 2s and the clean 7 by 7. So the clean and unclean food is not a Jewish thing. It was a health message that God gave, period, to begin with, saying, hey, if these type of animals really are not fit to eat. That's my takeaway of it. But it was not a Jewish thing. Jews didn't even exist when the Bible condemned unclean meat. Anything but peanut butter or liver, or liver or peanut butter. And I like both. I must say I do like both. Oh, no scrapple for me. I don't know what sauce is, but no scrapple. That even sounds disgusting. Bubble and squeak. I don't even know what that is. I don't know what South is, but if it's anything like Scrapple, don't ask Garrett. Oh, I tell you what, when it comes to a fresh kill of a deer, when I get my buck, first thing I do is I cut that liver on out and I'll soak it in salt water for a bit and then slice it up and uh, dip it in flour, salt, pepper, and then fry that on up. It doesn't have the flavor, the liver flavor, like it does after a day or two. I mean, it starts really getting the livery flavor, but that first day when liver is fresh, man, it is so good. Jerry, what they put maple syrup in? What a way to ruin perfectly good maple syrup. Yeah. See, with the spam stuff, I'm not playing around on this channel. That will be a good way to get you blocked. Don't want to do it, Steve, but the spamming is a good way to get yourself blocked on this channel. Now, if you do it on the other channel, that's up to you. They won't block you there, but on this one, Garrett, we don't get maple syrup very often here, but I like putting maple syrup in my coffee with a little bit of creamer. And man, it tastes really good. You have to buy the coffee, but man, it tastes good. Oh, you're making me sick there, Jim. You know what, Christy? I think I'd rather have female bacon than scrapple, which is at least as edible. Yeah, I think you're right there, Christy, on that one. I think you got Tim on that one. Every winter, I keep on saying it. They say that we can tap the maple trees around here. It just takes 50 gallons of sap here to make 1 gallon of syrup. And I have a number of maple trees here on the property that are large enough to tap. I'm sure I could get 50 gallons of sap to boil down. I just I just ain't done it. I love it, Goodrich. I love how it overpowers it. I love that maple. Oh, just a second. I got to go get some oil for the kettle. Here. That's slowly cooling there. And I'll be right back. Oh man, I may have to move. I'm starting to sit in the sun. Let me move this stuff around. Get over here where there's a little bit of shade. I don't need to sit by that fire. Let's see here. Okay, is my head chopped off? Yep, it is. Whoa, building a copy. I need to spend a penny. Yeah, I don't want to block you either, Steve, so that's why I gave you a heads up. Let's see here. Oh, Garrett, we know she's an arsonist. That's why I was saying that if I burnt these biscuits, I was going to call them Christie's Campfire biscuits. Hey, JR. I like molasses. I do like molasses on something. Yeah, they weren't quite burnt enough for me to give Christy the credit for that recipe. Garrett, I gotta tell you, Tim doesn't dare stop picking on Christy. Last time Tim stopped picking on Christy started weirding out, freaking out, and everything else. She thought that Tim was all pissed off at her because he quit picking on her. So, we don't want to see that happen again. She was freaking out. She thought she had done something wrong to Tim and pissed him off. And Tim had just said, "Well, I'm not going to pick her anyway." Come to find out, Christy loved being picked on. I'm here. It's supposed to for the next 3 or 4 days. It's supposed to be hotter. It's supposed to be like 100 degrees here. That's what my daughter was telling me. Let me look at the weather here. Just a second. Today's supposed to be 97. Oh, well, it's supposed to be a hot one today. The rest of the week is supposed to be like in the high 80s, but today it's supposed to be 97. So today will be a hot one, and then it cools off again. So my daughter told me wrong. I'm not ready for that quite yet, JR. We're able to keep the house pretty cool without having it. We don't have air conditioning, but we can keep the house pretty comfortable without AC. The sunny side of the house, when the sun starts hitting it, we drop the shades on, and I leave a couple of fans sitting in the windows, box fans, blowing the outside cool air from the shaded parts of the house blowing through, and I leave that running. Those two fans running 24/7, so it really cools the house down at night time. And it slowly gets up to maybe 76, 78 inside during the daytime, which ain't too bad. It's bearable. Who can't hear Grizz? Good morning, John. Let me see if my audio is coming through here. Let me turn this volume up. Yeah, it's coming through. You need a Joe Biden solar system. Heat index 102 with 80%. Oh man, Jerry, that's going to be miserable. Well, I mean, the upper 70s in the house is not that bad when it's 90 plus degrees. Um, there's ways to cool the house down without AC. You just got to learn how to do it. I'm perfectly. We don't need AC here. When it gets up to the few days that it gets up to like 105 degrees during the summer here, we just go down the lake, go swimming. That's only a few days out of the year. It's not. I mean, like where you guys are at. You know, if you got 105 degrees for a month out of the year, man, I just up and leave the state for a month. That doesn't even allow it to cool off at nighttime. Yeah, the humidity is the real killer. And we do get some high humidity at times, but not near as bad as what you guys get in the south. Especially not near as much of it either. Used to that, I'll jump in the creek. Yep, exactly. Shucks, I might take the pontoon boat on out today. Little pontoon paddle boat, little fishing boat that I got. Take it out of the lake and roll around and jump in and cool off. I've thought about getting a dehumidifier to put in the house when it gets muggy on out. Run the dehumidifier and then that let that run back to the tank and then pump that over like hang a wet a towel in front of the box fan and let the water just kind of drip back through that. They'll cook, kind of keep on recycling that same water round and round and round. I don't know, but I'm kind of afraid that running a dehumidifier in the house long term, the motor from that might end up actually heating up the house and defeat its purpose. I don't know. Anybody have any thoughts on that? Yeah, junkyard. I have thought about putting a sprinkler system up on our roof. Just let the water run on the roof to cool it. Water is free here. I do know that up in Salem, my brother had a house with a full basement, and he would circulate his upstairs there down with the basement air. When it would get hot, he'd kick that on and blow all that basement air up into the house. He could cool off his house in about 5 minutes time. For me, it would be 110 degrees in his house. When he'd get on home, he'd just go on there and kick that fan on, circulate the air through the house, and he would have it down to like 65, 70 degrees easy in 5 minutes time. I swear, if I would lived in a hot climate, that's what I'd be doing. I'd be looking at putting a basement on in. Then put a fan on that pipe that you're running down through the peak to circulate the hot air out. I think the important part, if you're going to vent your roof, is make sure that you're pulling the outside air from a shady point of the house, because all you're doing is just recirculating more hot air back into it. Yeah, I think that's the big dilemma with venting the houses. Yeah, if you can cool the attic down, that would stop a lot of radiant heat. You're right on that, junkyard. I'm kind of curious on the what you're talking about there, though. I'm running the pipe. Just are you just running it at the high point? I'd be more interested on some details on that. Are you talking about JR? You got a gable vent? What if at the gable vent? What if you went on in there and propped up a box fan right on the inside of that gable vent to blow up the force air through there? You put that on a switch where you could turn it on from down below. I've done that, John. Um, there are problems with that, which are very much doable. But like in our area, we have a lot of minerals in our water, and they do clog up it does clog up the piping. So you constantly got to deal with stuff like that. But yeah, you can do that. Okay, but the holes in the pipe that you run along the peak, is that, are you running air through that pipe or are you running water through that pipe? Yeah, ridge vents don't let as much air through. What ridge vents are for mainly for is if you got a vaulted ceiling. one of the biggest problems with house ventilation to try for the purpose. See, house vents are not made for cooling the attic per se. They're they're there to circulate air so you don't get the mildew or the mold growing on it. They're just to kind of circulate air. Um, a person needs to really, if you really want to try to cool off your attic, you got to double up what they recommend. Yeah, well, see, with the vaulted ceilings, the rafters restrict the airflow. That's why you got to have the ridge vent. I see. I was thinking that that pipe you was, I thought you were talking to the pipe was inside of the attic along the ridge. You're talking about putting it on top of the. Okay, I got you. Yeah, put it on top of the roof, on top of the ridge vent, or on top of the ridge, and capped in so the water can kind of spray out over the those holes and cool the roof. I imagine in Oklahoma, you get a lot of evaporation from the water. Is that water evaporated before it can run off the eaves? You know, if you have, here's another thing that I would suggest. If you have a crawl space underneath your house, if there's any way for you at each end of your house to put a chase go from your crawl space up to your attic, one at each end. So you have one end is pulling the air up from the floor and circulating it back down, circulating that air through the crawl space air through your attic. I would think that that would really cool things down too. Because your crawl space is really nice and cool. It's just most people's crawl spaces smell kind of musty, so you won't want that smell in your house. But running it through your attic, I don't see where it'd be a problem. Now, fire code would might have a problem with that. You'd want to be able to shut it down for winter use or so like that. Because if the fire starts down below, you don't want to shoot up and chase up into your attic and let it spread all over. But I imagine that would be really effective for cooling your roof rather your attic space rather quickly. Yeah, crawl spaces are for hiding bodies. I like the way you think, Tim. Well, I assume that Iron Dog won't be going live this evening. If he does, of course, I'm going to jump over to his channel. But I'm going to plan on going live this evening at 5 o'clock his time, roughly, maybe 5:30 his time. I'm going to wait. I'll probably give it at least 15 minutes to see if he goes live. But if he doesn't, I'm going to go live, and I'm probably going to make some ice cream out here this evening for the live stream. Put Christy on the top of your list there, Tim. Take care, JR. Thanks for dropping by. Live from the shade, yep. Of course, it's all going to depend on my internet if I go live too. That's the other deal. The camper should be cleaning out about that time here. So I probably should have internet Sunday evenings. Usually Sunday evenings isn't too bad on the internet. Saturday nights, the internet is really bad here because of all the campers. Yeah. I think today I'm going to fire up the tractor and John up there where he was had his trailer out and stuff over there. He had a couple of loads of real fine. It wasn't pea gravel because pea gravel was like 3/8 rock. And this is almost like it. It's thicker than sand, but thinner than pea gravel. It's a real heavy sand. Anyway, that's what he put all up there. I'm going to drag it on back, to and rework the area a little bit so I can get ready to move it onto the trailer and stuff, get everything in place. That's my plan for today. I got to get ready to move into a shed that I started building several years ago, and once I get it put in the new place, maybe I'll get back onto building it. It shouldn't take long to finish it, really. I got one new tire. I haven't got the second one yet. They ordered the tires for me, but they only shipped one, and they were supposed to ship two for me to get them at $50 a piece. And I prepaid for both tires, so they said it'd be late getting the second one. It'll be here sometime this month. They said it'd be in August. I need to give them a call tomorrow. It kind of sucks. The tire that I ruined was the last tire that I bought. It still had good tread on it, but I ruined the sidewall of it. But I can still keep that tire for a spare to get me through. Should something happen again. Yeah, except for these aren't Chinese tires on the Japanese tractor. Mm. Take the towel and rub that all around. them on layaway. There you go. You know, on my Les Schwab tires, I just have an automatic payment plan, whether I owe money or not. I just have an automatic payment plan of $25 a month, just so it takes care of any of that stuff. So right now, I have a buildup of $1,000, and what sucks about doing it that way is now with the inflation going on up, I got that $1,000 there, and I don't need no tires per se. I mean, I got the tractor ones, but if the prices go on up, my $1,000 sitting there ain't going to go on up, so they'll buy less and less tires. Yeah, I probably should get out of here, guys. I really should get my day started. I think I am. Thanks for coming by and watching me and poking fun at my biscuits. I appreciate it. It was fun. Take care, y'all. Bye.